This is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
Good morning and welcome to Houston Newsmakers, where my first guest is Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, who was invited to talk about her re-election campaign since her opponent was on this program a couple of weeks ago. But because we now know that President Trump and the First Lady have coronavirus, it makes sense to start with that part of the conversation to find out what concerns it is generating on Capitol Hill. Good morning, Congresswoman Lee. Your reaction when you first heard the news that the President and the First Lady were tested positive for coronavirus, and what kind of possible ripple effects do you suspect there'll be on Capitol Hill?
Good morning to all of your viewers. I think this is a daunting moment for the nation, and I know there are those in the nation praying for the President and First Lady and all those who may be impacted, and that is what we do as Americans. And so I think that is clearly evident of who our spirit is. But at the same time, I call for an immediate meeting of our caucus to get a full briefing on what is the status of the President's condition. I think it is an important message, unfortunately, a sad message, for America to take COVID-19 seriously, for the federal government to take it seriously, for us to immediately pass the HEROES Act, which will provide more testing, contact tracing, more monies for our small businesses, more monies for restaurants who are closing, and stopping evictions and foreclosures. And we are now seeing a crisis of, I would not say insurmountable, but major proportion. I've known that since February. So at this point, the Congress is going to move with expeditious speed to ensure that the President is mending, but also to ensure that the government is protected through the process of the Vice President, who has proven to be negative with a test this morning, and that we continue to provide for the American people.
So now, what's the status on the stimulus? Because I know the House has been working to pass a $2.2 trillion stimulus that looks like it's dead on arrival in the Senate. And so the question then is, what's the point? And where is the urgency to get something done between both houses?
Well, because people are suffering. We saw a surge of evictions in our own community. I had to intervene on a number of them. The city and county are working hard, but their money is running out. And so we passed the $2.2 trillion stimulus called HEROES 2 to provide, to keep our firefighters working, our police working, essential workers provided for and working to get that cash disbursement, and a family of four would wind up with $3,400. And I will tell you, constituents across my district and across this community desperately need those dollars. Now, I am hoping that the intransigent behavior of the administration will stop right now today, that it will stop, and that we will have the Senate pass this bill, and the President or acting President, as necessary, will sign this bill immediately, because it's evident that the crisis in COVID-19 has not in any way eased. We need a vaccine. We're sending children back to school. Parents are in an uproar. Teachers are very concerned. And more states in the Midwest. Utah now is a hot spot, and it is growing in the Midwest, and it's surging or coming back in states that really we thought we had it under control. COVID-19 is unpredictable. Right. And I was the first member of Congress, as we can detect and discern, that announced a concern for COVID-19 in February, when I asked whether our airport was prepared, or airports across America, for those coming in from anywhere in the world. And as we know, New York's pandemic started with those visitors coming in from Europe and not from China. So I think we're at a moment when the HEROES Bill 2, there is no other option than for the Senate to now pass it. How more realistic are we getting when, unfortunately, the President and First Lady are now tested positive COVID-19?
So,
who else in their inner circle has tested positive COVID-19?
So we've got about 3.5 minutes on this segment. We're going to do a Newsmakers Extra coming up, but we've been seeing you in a lot of places here recently. You've been in setting up a lot of COVID-19 sites. We've seen you there with various people. We've seen you also helping with those who might need help with avoiding eviction. You're also in re-election mode, trying to win your 14th term in Congress, and Wendell Champion is your Republican opponent, who on this program a few weeks ago said you had not done enough to bring jobs to the district, especially energy sector jobs. What say you to Mr. Champion's claims?
Well, I really speak to my record and I speak to the facts. I have provided an enormous amount of effort and support for jobs in all sectors. I have, through these years, brought in billions of dollars, which has created thousands of jobs in our community. I even, on the Hurricane Harvey, was the lead person collaborating with my Republican colleagues, working with Speaker Pelosi to bring in billions of dollars that will generate any number of jobs. I helped push for the Automotive Technology Center at the Houston Community College to create jobs in that area, new technology jobs. But more importantly, I'm the person who faces a pandemic or an epidemic or a crisis and responds to her constituents. It's that experience that really counts as a senior member of Homeland Security. That's why I've been able to open 33 testing sites way before the president or anyone was pushing for testing. And I went into the neighborhoods. We probably had the best testing protocol in Houston and Harris County than any other city around, because we began and we moved into these neighborhoods quickly. In addition, I would say, I mentioned the $100 million for small businesses. No one ever did that. I took that model after 9/11. I helped pass the 9/11 bill as chair of the Transportation Security Bill. I have constantly been engaged with our schools, even individually securing $1 million in one of our schools in the Northeast to help with math and science. That creates jobs as well. I think when we run for office, we need to be attentive to the real record of the person that you happen to be opposing. I speak more about the work that I have done. Every sector of my district I have been able to respond to. I don't know if people remember, St. Joseph's Hospital was on the verge of closing, literally closing. I went to work as a senior member of Homeland Security and argued that it was the only hospital in this teeming downtown Houston and that it was a Homeland Security necessity. The administration, at that time, the Obama administration, accepted that argument, said it was an excellent argument. That hospital is now thriving and providing for a lot of our individuals that need mental health services. Just a few days ago, the mayor and myself opened a hotline, a mental health hotline, using CARES money that I brought the suggestion to a very active city and leadership, and they thought it was the right direction to go. And so we were able to use federal dollars that I helped bring here. And then when President George W. Bush was in office, the two of us worked on bringing more federally qualified health centers here to the state, the entire state, because we didn't have that many federally qualified community health clinics, which means we brought health care to neighborhoods. And you can see those community health clinics flourishing now.
And
I see a problem and I work on a solution. It's not respecting any area of my district, because I represent Humble, I represent Jacinto City, I represent all parts of a very teeming, large Houston, and I recognize all of them. I just want to say I remember using a creative tactic, using the United States Department of Agriculture to help get body cams for the police department in Jacinto City and get them a brand new ambulance. I am proud of the constituents I represent. Why? Because they are hardworking people. And if they're in need, it is my task to use the federal power or the power of the office of the member of Congress, not for myself, but for my constituents. And I've tried to do that each step of the way.
Congresswoman.
And I hope that that has been evident in my record and what people see in me.
And we'll have more to talk about on Newsmakers Extra coming up, including the governor's proclamation to limit the number of places for mail-in ballots to be dropped off. Congresswoman Jacqueline Lee, thank you for sticking around for Newsmakers Extra.